How's it going, Lad Legion? It's your boy Brad, and boy do I have a doozy of a video for you guys today. Now if you follow my Snap at all, which will be linked in the description, you'll kind of know what's going on. But if you don't, let's just say I found someone worse than Susan. I would rather take Susan or anybody cheating on me over what this Karen did to me. And before this video starts, I do want to say I am not making this video for any clout. I mean, a drop of clout would be pretty nice. But I'm making this video more or less to tell you guys my story, what's been going on, because there's been a lot of false rumors going on about me, and really just want to put everything out on there, on the table. Now, as I said, the story is about a girl named Karen, and I don't really know where to start with this. This is probably one of the most toxic, abusive kind of relationship / friendship, or whatever you want to call it, that I have been in, and I don't really know where to start. I don't know if I want to start it from 4 years ago. I don't know if I want to do the recent thing. I think the best thing to do would be kind of sum up some of the bullshit that's happened, and then talk about the most recent bullshit that's happened. So why don't we do that? Also, before this video starts, I do want to say, do not attack, if you know who I'm talking about, if you know Karen, do not attack Karen. You wouldn't want someone that's super toxic to get attacked. I'm stressing on this enough. Do not attack Karen. Alright, so anyways, 4 years ago I met this girl. Her name was Karen. Boom, freshman year, and nothing really happened because she had a boyfriend at the time, but I kind of knew that I liked her. I kind of had feelings for her. Sophomore year, she kind of played me a little bit because she made me think that I had a chance with her. She was even flirting with me for a little bit, and then she just came out with the Uno reverse, Uno skip card and was like, nah famski, that ain't happening. But me being persistent, towards the end of sophomore year, we did end up dating for a month. And this is kind of some fuck shit that happened while we were dating that I really don't think Karen knows that I know about. While we were dating, I'm not saying I'm the most perfect person. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I did do some things wrong, like, for example... Oh shit, that's right, I didn't do anything. But anyways, she would smoke, and I would be like... I'd be like, okay, I'd be okay with it as long as I didn't know what was happening, as long as it wasn't around me. But sometimes she'd make sure I knew it was happening, and I was just like, hey, please don't smoke, or if you do, don't tell me. And apparently that was me controlling her life. So she would go to her science class at the end of the day, or at the end of her science class, and she would talk to, I think it was 4 or 5 people, all of which have told me what she has said, by the way, because I'm connected to almost everybody at my school, so I know most of the shit that goes down. Correction, I know everything that goes down. Like, I'm not popular at my school, but if we were playing Mafia, I'd be a level 50 mob boss. And what did the little Tweety birds say to me? What did they say that she was saying? There's another dude that goes by the same name as my real name. Let's just call him Jerry for now. Apparently, Karen and Jerry were planning on fucking while we were dating. No, that's not an exaggeration. That's what they were planning on doing. She would go to her science class and tell her friends, aka my friends, that she was planning on cheating on me with Jerry. Do I know why she was doing it? No, because she said she loved me and I believed it. I was like the Joker in this instance, where I was a fucking clown. Of course, I asked her about this probably a week ago, and she said that wasn't the case. But then me and my friends decided to talk about it near Jerry, literally a foot away from Jerry, and he had the most guilty look on his face, and he straight up walked away. I'm not fucking stupid, Karen, just so you know that. Anyway, towards the end of our relationship, I was having a ton of anxiety attacks because she wasn't really talking to me as much, and I was like, well, I was wondering why that has happened. Ladies, if you do not talk to your guy as much as you used to, or you kind of distance yourself from him, we will freak out and have a ton of panic attacks. That's just human nature. So anyways, I was trying to talk to her, and then she ends up dumping me while I was at work, and you know what? I was like, okay, I was pissed, I was sad, there was stuff said, but I was like, okay. And then a couple days later, I was like, you know what, I'll wait for you. And she was like, she doesn't want to, Karen told me that she didn't want to date anybody. So I was like, okay, cool. And what happens literally a week later? And I would have got if I was told this from the beginning instead of having my own fucking sister tell me. So it was 4th of July. And my sister and mom went to go see fireworks. I don't think my dad went with them. I think my dad was home because I think that's who I vented to about this. But she saw them, not by them, I should specify. She saw Karen and my so-called best friend, let's call him Kyle at the time. She saw them holding hands and walking around the fireworks. And, Kyle being my best friend, I told him to, watch out for her because when we broke up, I was, in that depressed mood. You know when you first get broken up with, you feel like you're gonna die. and that's where I was at. So I was like, yo, just watch over her. Apparently that was an excuse for them to start dating, because that's what they started to do. Kyle went right for her, and that's what they did. And yes, me and Kyle are friends like now after all of this situation is over, because he also realized that Karen was a toxic piece of shit, and he has also told me some stories about you, Karen. Anyways, yes, I will admit that while she was dating my best friend, I did go to her best friend and start messing around with her, but that only lasted a week because I realized that it wasn't right, and I realized the person that I really wanted to be with was Karen. But, you know, Karen being Karen, wasn't thinking about anybody except for herself at the time. Or at all. Anyways, fast forward, she ends up dumping Kyle on his birthday, which within like the first 12 hours later, me and her start messing around again, because I thought, you know, this is my chance to get her back. I was fucking wrong. And this goes into the beginning of my junior year of high school. So me and her were talking, we were messing around, everything was great for like the first week or 2 weeks of high school, and then something happens to her. I'm not going to go into what happens to her, and I'm kind of just questioning what's happening. I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and she won't tell me, and I'm just like, if you don't tell me, I don't know what to do, and I can't help. And she ends up like taking it the completely wrong way of what I was trying to tell her, because I was trying to be there for her, and she thought I was trying to push her away. So she ends up just stop talking to me. She ends up ghosting me. She tells me to leave her alone. She even gets her daddy on the fucking phone to text me to tell me to stop talking to her. By the way, I'm pretty sure it wasn't him. It was probably just her trying to like scare me away. Anyways, eventually I give up and I let her win, and I just decide to stop talking to her. So we ended up not talking until the end of junior year, when she randomly added me on Snapchat and apologized for everything. By the way, this apology only lasted for like 5 seconds because she ended up doing the same shit. And then we start talking and snapping, and she ends up accidentally sending me a thing where she says that she just wants to fuck around with guys. She doesn't know why guys want a relationship. She's in it just to fuck. And I was like, you know what? I'm your ex. You know I still have feelings for you. I don't want to hear this. I don't tell her this, of course. So I kind of just stopped talking to her, in which she ends up taking me off of her Snapchat for literally no reason. Anyways, we don't talk until the beginning of senior year, when I decide to add her on Snapchat because I don't want any beef with her anymore. I didn't want any beef with her anymore. I should probably change that. And we ended up talking. We ended up messing around for the third time. During this time, she told me that she still had feelings for me, and that if we would still be dating if the time was right, to this day. Probably another fucking lie. So we start messing around, and eventually she kind of stops talking to me as much again. So I try to ask her what's going on, what's the problem, like what's the deal, and she doesn't really give me anything until I find out from one of my friends, because you know Karens don't like to communicate anything. I have to find out from one of my friends that she was actually talking to another dude. So I was like, okay, cool. So I decided to talk to her about it. She's like, yeah, I'm talking to him. You know, I thought you and me were getting too serious, so I decided to like cut you off and take away your chance to be with me. Completely dog shit fucked, by the way. And she apologized, which again was probably another fake ass apology. And that was what I thought was happened for that. And by the way, the dude that she started messing around with was my bully for pretty much middle school and high school. So I had a lot of like beef with him. I didn't really like him, and I told her this, and I told her the stories of what he would do. And you know, she was like, okay. A little break from this little voiceover, because I got a special guest on the phone right now. So Matt, also known as Kyle, as I referenced in the video. Matt, is Karen a toxic piece of shit, or is it just me?
Now, you and I both have different experiences with this, right? I will admit, because I have my own opinions on this matter. I will admit, Karen's been doing some pretty scummy stuff, pretty shitty things, especially to you.
You heard it here, folks.
Fuck you, Karen.
Alright, I just want to thank Matt for coming on. This is in post. So, anyways, after I tell her everything, she decides to still send me pictures of him, and I'm wondering why. And she ends up going to the mall with Jerry. I think I said that's what his name was. Anyway, she goes to the mall with Jerry, and I start saying stuff because, you know, I don't like Jerry. So I start saying bad things about Jerry. And then she starts sending me pictures of her and Jerry holding hands, which was fucked up because she knew I still had feelings for her, and she knew Jerry was my bully. So then this is pretty much what sparked this entire thing. By the way, this was all in the span of like 2 weeks ago. And then they go to a football game, and they start sending me pictures of him grabbing her thigh and him holding her hand and him just grabbing her. and then they pretend to fucking go out and shit because she was trying to get revenge for what I did in the past. Now, if you listen to this story at all, you will know I didn't really do much in the past except for mess with her best friend when she messed with mine. So I don't really know what revenge you were trying to get, Karen. I don't know why you're still acting like a fucking 6th grader. Anyways, I digress. She ends up blocking me and saying it's all my fault, and then her friends to turn against me. But then again, there's only like 4 people on her side: the dude she pretended to date, Jerry, her best friend, and Jerry's twin brother. Anyways, everybody else is completely on my side. Even the dude that she's fucking around with right now thinks she's fake as shit and is already talking shit about her and is already on my side. So Karen, I'm pretty sure you don't really... I don't know if it's really a competition, but I feel like I would win. Again, boys, this was not about clout. I mean, a little drop would be nice, but this was more to tell you about my experience with the toxic relationship. And now that I'm talking about it, I've been so quiet about the situation. She's been the more vocal one, talking a bunch of shit about me, making stuff up, accusing me of raping her, a ton of different shit. And I've just been sitting here quiet because I haven't known what to say, and this is my first time really defending myself during any of this. And you know what? I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't know if she's going to send people to jump me, which is probably what's going to end up happening. So yeah, this could be my last video, boys. You never know. Anyway, boys, like I said, if you guys have any problems with toxic relationships, feel free to DM me on Twitter, add me on Snapchat. All of those are linked in the description as always, and that's probably going to be the end of this video. If you guys did enjoy, please hit that like button. It helps out a lot, and it shows that you support me in my SS Thought Patrol, dude. And anyways, I'll see you lads in the next video. Subscribe, hit that post notification bell so you never miss an upload. I'll see you lads in the next video.
I've been wishing for some better days. Could you listen? No, why can you stay? I write love songs for a dead man, waiting for the end, but it's love songs.